And we continue at 2:05 in the afternoon on the John Phillips Show. Mr. Randy Wang's in Culver City.
Greg writes in at johnnydon'tlikeshow@gmail.com with the subject line Pineapple Hill. Guys, I'm enjoying your show as always. If I remember correctly, wasn't the Pineapple Hill the restaurant where the owner was forced to close during COVID and the scumbags in charge, the fake doctor, had people filming in the lot next to her where people could eat? I'm so glad you're supporting her.
Yeah, you see, though, COVID didn't spread next door because that was craft services for a movie shoot.
That was ground zero for the COVID insanity in the San Fernando Valley.
Next slide.
And while everyone is invited to this event, if Barbara Ferrer comes, her food might get spit on.
Yeah.
800-222-5222 is the telephone number, 1-800-222-5222. Well, I've made the mistake of watching the news over the last few days where I think it was on the CBS Evening News. They led the newscast with a Q&A with an expert on crime. And the subject was, we may never know the motivation of the alleged assassin of Charlie Kirk. That this is just has everyone flummoxed. There's no discernible motive here, and there's no evidence that leads us to believe we'll ever find out just exactly why he got shot. And then if you watch Jimmy Kimmel at night, he was making fun of people who were of the belief that the shooter was not a MAGA extremist who thought that Charlie Kirk, I guess, wasn't right-wing enough. And I thought to myself, it's right in front of you people. You don't need to be Matlock to figure this one out. And then I thought, why are they booking these fools? Just put Dawna Kauffman on the show. She'll explain it in 60 seconds, and you'll be off to the weather report before you know it. So I figured, all right, let's have Dawna on, and she can explain it. Dawna Kauffman is the author of the JFK Assassination Dissected. She authored that with Dr. Cyril Wecht, and it's available online at Amazon.com. Dawna Kauffman, welcome.
Oh, boy. Thank you, John. What an intro.
Well, let's go ahead and go through the text message exchange because I want you to dissect this for us because I don't understand how there's any question mark for anyone after reading this text message exchange. So I want to go through it and then get your response to it. So this is Robinson, the alleged shooter, and then the roommate/spouse of Robinson that Robinson is talking to. So here is the text
Lance
message.
Twiggs.
Okay, Twiggs. So Robinson says, I'm still okay, my love, but am stuck in Orem for a little while longer yet. Shouldn't be long until I come home, but I got to grab my rifle still. To be honest, I had hoped that to keep this secret till I died of old age. I'm sorry to involve you. Roommate, you weren't the one who did it, right? Robinson, I am. I'm sorry. Roommate, I thought they caught the person. Robinson, no. They grabbed some old crazy dude, then interrogated someone in similar clothing. I had planned to grab a rifle from my drop point shortly after, but most of that side of town got locked down. It's quiet, almost enough to get out, but there's one vehicle lingering. Roommate, why? Robinson, why did I do it? Roommate, yeah. Robinson, I had enough of his hatred. Some hate can't be negotiated out. If I'm able to grab my rifle unseen, I will have left no evidence. Going to attempt to retrieve it again. Hopefully, they have moved on. I haven't seen anything about them finding it. Roommate, how long have you been planning this? Robinson, a bit over a week, I believe. I can get close to it, but there's a squad car parked right by it. I think they already swept the spot, but I don't want to chance it. Robinson, I'm wishing I had circled back and grabbed it as soon as I got to my vehicle. I'm worried what my old man would do if I didn't bring it back Grandpa's rifle. I don't know if it had a serial number, but it wouldn't trace to me. I worry about prints. I had to leave it in a bush where I changed outfits. Didn't have the ability or time to bring it with me. I might have to abandon it and hope they don't find prints. How the F will I explain losing it to my old man? Only thing I left was the rifle wrapped in a towel. Remember how I was engraving the bullets? The bleeping messages are mostly a big meme. If I see notices bulge UWU on Fox News, I might have a stroke. All right, I'm going to have to leave it. That really effing sucks. All right, now let me move on to the next one. Judging from today, I'd say Grandpa's gun does fine. I don't know. I think it was a $2,000 scope. Robinson, delete this exchange. Robinson, my dad wants photos of the rifle. He says Grandpa wants to know who has what. The feds released a photo of the rifle, and it's very unique. He's calling me right now, not answering. Robinson, since Trump got into office, my dad has been pretty diehard MAGA. Robinson, I'm going to turn myself in willingly. One of my neighbors is here, deputy for the sheriff. Robinson, you're all I worry about, love. Roommate, I'm much more worried about you. Robinson, don't talk to the media, please. Don't take any interviews or make any comments. If any police ask you questions, ask for a lawyer and stay silent. And that's the exchange.
Well, that's
What are
a
your
small
thoughts?
portion of their ongoing texts and communications over, this is just right after the crime, but leading up to it is the reason that the cops took in Lance Twiggs and said, you better start talking, buddy, and he did. Because they made clear to him that so much caring for his love, you're all I worry about. No, not really, not at all. Robinson wanted Twiggs to go pick up the rifle. This guy was no criminal mastermind. He's going to go down easy. And, his pal is singing like Mariah. But, there could be some other people involved. They're looking at 20 other individuals on Tyler's Discord chat who may have had info on the weeks leading to the attack. The account's been closed, but the info is out there, and people are talking as they should.
Now, what happens? We saw some instructions in that text exchange to delete the text messages. Just because you delete something doesn't mean it doesn't exist anymore, and it doesn't mean that the phone company or Apple or whomever can go back and find out what was said.
Right, but that takes time because you got to go through a lot of paperwork, and that's a big problem. I'm guessing he didn't delete anything and turned it all over, and so cops have all of that. Who knows what Robinson's family thinks about Tyler? Did they know he was a furry? Did they know he was transitioning? Did they know their son was in a gay relationship with him? Did they hate him for that? Where did he fall off the rails? He had handyman gigs, but no career. Who was paying his bills? His parents aren't paying for his public defender, that's for sure. His family was all conservative, Mormon, law enforcement, pro-Trump. Tyler had no party affiliation, didn't vote in the last presidential election, had no criminal record. He took, in high school, he took a college class, but once he registered for college, he dropped out. So his parents have to be really concerned about where did this happen? Where did he go off the rails? Where did they inculcate him to some degree with their love, the family's whole love of guns? Not a surprising thing in Utah, but probably not something that you give to someone who is unemployed and may have mental issues. The mental issues are the only thing that a public defender has to work with, because he confessed in the texts and to possibly other people. Possibly he confessed to the cops by now. So he's just his own worst enemy. They have to work on this case without his help and prove that I'm sure he's sitting with a psychologist now, and he should be. But really, what he did is horrific. And if he had any brains at all, he would have taken Charlie Kirk's invitation to prove him wrong. Come and talk about it. Let's have some discourse, not assassination.
When you look at pictures of this kid when he was younger, and I'm talking about 4, 5, 6 years old, because the family posted a lot of fake pictures on Facebook and social media, he looked like a normal, well-adjusted kid. And you look at the pictures of him now, and it looks like his brain is broken. You've covered a lot of people who have done a lot of horrific things. Are they usually damaged goods from the time they came out of the chute? Or does something happen to them where they get brainwashed or mental illness kicks in or something happens where their brains just break?
Well, he's 22, and that's right around the time when, brain diseases start manifesting. But you can bet that the FBI has a team talking to everybody in his past. If he had friends growing up, if he had relatives, there's a grandma out there, certainly the parents, but not just the parents, because we can't trust exactly what they say. They're probably afraid of having to have some share responsibility. So you talk to the teachers, you talk to the church pastors, and you talk to people who knew him, as a child and could say, this is where I started noticing something was wrong. Did he was he on any medication? Was he someone who took drugs for pleasure? He's in Utah, so he probably wasn't drinking a lot, but, what were his habits? So you got to really look at all those things. That's what I find so fascinating, the background and trying to track where somebody, shows a break in their psyche.
I saw an interview with a relative who gave an interview to a local news outlet. I think it was a grandparent who said that politically he started getting very extreme to the left before the shooting and became obsessed with the transgendered issue. It didn't seem like they were aware of his relationship with the transgendered roommate, but they were aware that that was an issue that he spent a lot of time talking about and thinking about. The neighbors say that the roommate was more than the roommate. The roommate was the boyfriend, and they would walk around the neighborhood holding hands. They would kiss on each other in public, that it was not just a roommate sort of relationship, that there was real romance that was going on there. Why do you think so many people are bending over backwards to try to deny these things?
Well, it's Utah. It's not how you do things in Utah. It's a very, very conservative place. The Latter-day Saints control the thinking there, and they're not real gay friendly. They're certainly not furry friendly or transgender, gender fluid friendly. So, there are a lot of people who are going to be speaking up about that. But it is interesting. It will be interesting to learn what the parents knew about him. Also, was Twigs on Discord as well? Did they play violent video games together? Did they go shooting together? Is Twigs just this innocent kid who dresses like a hamster, or does he also have a love of guns and rifles and shooting and hunting, perhaps? Who knows? We really need to find out what his view is, what his background is, and also what when their relationship started. That's what I'm unclear about. And also, do either of them have jobs now, or did they?
Let's go back to the day of the shooting, because there was a guy who kind of looked like John Lithgow, of all people, who was arrested on the scene, who claimed to be the shooter and was asking the cops to shoot him. He says that he wanted to distract the cops so that the real shooter could get away, and that was his motivation. Is there any evidence at all that connects that guy to the actual shooter?
No, none that has been said. And actually, the governor and someone from the FBI have said, no, this guy was just a time waster. He came forward. He said, I'm the guy who did it. And then they took his phone and looked through it, and it was filled with child porn. And when they asked him about it, he said, yeah, I like little kids. This was some old geezer. And, but what happened was Patel and Bongino and others from headquarters flew into Utah at that time, and they were supposed to do a press conference. I know I was sitting here waiting with bated breath for that presser to start. And instead, just somebody from the local office, and I think the governor said, yeah, we'll show you some pictures of him jumping off a roof. This is the guy that we're looking for. And they didn't mention anything else. And Patel, who loves to take opportunities to talk, did not come out and talk. Well, that's because they were interviewing this phony who said he did it. And so they lost time there, and that's what happens. You get crazy people who want to see their faces in the paper. Well,
that's common, isn't it? Didn't that happen with John Benet Ramsey, where people came out of the woodwork acknowledging that they were the ones that killed her, and it wasn't true?
Yeah, well, and one of them got arrested and brought back in first-class airfare from Thailand. John Mark Carr. It was ridiculous. He had nothing to do with that, but he had weaved together a story about how he knew her and was friends with her, and it was just this fantasy life that he was leading, and he was just a terrible guy to put in the mix, because he led investigators off into some terrible tangents, and that also elicited more of those people coming forward. So this is what happens with big cases. You've got phony confessors, and let's just hope that the real shooter here starts talking, and maybe he can buy some time for himself. He's being charged now with seven felonies, including, committing an act in front of children. Well, you can't do anything in Utah that's not in front of children. I mean, that's most of the population. I mean, they have child parking places in front of supermarkets, it's just a child-heavy environment. So some of those will be, ratcheted down, but it is a death penalty state. Mr. Genius should have thought about that when he committed his horrific act.
Last question before you go. We're running out of time. We have about 60 seconds left. There were two other individuals arrested for, I guess, incendiary devices that were placed underneath cars. What is that about?
Yeah, I was curious about that, too. It wasn't in the immediate location. I think it was even another state, like Pennsylvania or something. But, this just brings out the crazies. And let me tell you, when this goes to court, poor Tyler is not going to have the cheering section that Luigi Mangione has. Maybe he ought to start growing out his eyebrows.
All right. Dawna Kauffman, true crime reporter extraordinaire. The book is The JFK Assassination Dissected. Dawna co-wrote that with Dr. Cyril Wecht. That's available online at Amazon.com. Dawna Kauffman, thanks so much for stopping by.
Thank you, John.
If you'd like to email the show, you can do so at johnnydon'tlikeshow@gmail.com. That's johnnydon'tlikeshow@gmail.com. And Randy, with the end of the show quickly approaching, if you want to continue listening to us after we sign off at 3, that's easy to do.
After 3 hours of this, you want more? And you'd rather listen to podcasts of this than the new season of Love Island Games? Fine, go knock yourself out. Search for The John Phillips Show wherever you get your podcasts, whether it's the Apple Podcasts app, iHeart, Spotify. Search for The John Phillips Show. Hit subscribe. You can download all the podcasts.
800-222-5222 is the telephone number. 1-800-222-5222. And Randy, coming up on Friday, we're going to Sherman Oaks.
Right now, we're in the middle of the 3-day stretch known as
Tuesday, Wednesday, and Thursday.
But on Friday, we're going to be in Sherman Oaks at the Pineapple Hill Saloon. a place where we did a wonderful live remote 3 years ago. It was our coming out of COVID party. And then I got COVID. It was a great time, though, and we are so excited to be coming back to the Pineapple Hill in Sherman Oaks from noon to 3, a live broadcast of the John Phillips Show with great food, fantastic drinks, and special guests like Susan Shelley from the Howard Jarvis Taxpayer Association. The courts have made it easier to raise your taxes, so come by, sign the petition to save Prop 13, hang out with us, have lunch, take some pictures. It's going to be a great time. The John Phillips Show live this Friday at the Pineapple Hill in Sherman Oaks. See you there.
And right now it's time to open up the California Crime Blotter.
If the cashier is dummy.
Questions?
And this edition takes us to Berkeley,
where there was a carjacking rampage.
That doesn't sound fun.
For more, here's KTVU, Fox 2.
This happened at the height of the morning commute. We are at the edge of UC Berkeley's Kirk campus and just down the street of a number of schools. Now, part of this rampage was caught on video, and I should warn you, what you're about to see may be disturbing. Surveillance video obtained by KTVU shows a man in a stolen BMW hopping onto the sidewalk and then running into a man walking his dog in Berkeley.
Okay, this guy's going to hell.
The man's dragged down Belrose Avenue near Derby Street as the car cuts across lanes of traffic. The victim's dog runs loose. Witnesses told us what they saw.
When I saw him, his pants were ripped, and I told him to lay down.
His clothes are all torn up. He's in pain. People are trying to make sure the dog is okay, the drivers who had stopped.
Moments later, the driver makes a U-turn and heads back in the direction he came, the BMW still on the sidewalk.
What, is he trying to finish the job?
I guess. This is like a Fast and Furious movie.
He hits a woman on the sidewalk with her back to the car.
I see a woman jogger, I think, get hit very badly, flips over.
This guy's just driving onto the sidewalk trying to run people down with his stolen car.
It's like he's playing a video game where you get more points based on how many people you run over.
Flips over, and the car keeps going.
But it wasn't over. The suspect then hit a bicyclist on Derby. The victim, a man in his 70s, wearing a bright orange safety vest. The suspect ditched the BMW 525i with its front windshield smashed on Garber Street near Emerson Elementary, and then tried to carjack two victims.
My goodness.
How many laws did this guy break?
And then tried to carjack two victims, including a woman dropping her children off at school. A short time.
This all happened early in the morning. What happened to this guy?
Who is that drugged out of their mind that early?
Well, typically the drugged out started the night before because you don't sleep on the methies.
A short time later, he was arrested by Berkeley police at gunpoint.
It is very unfortunate and tragic, scary for all the residents in this area.
Officer Jessica Perry says it appears to be an apparently random rampage.
I do think that it is probably safe to say that this was more of a random act. I don't think that any of the victims that were involved had anything in common other than unfortunately being at the wrong place at the wrong time.
I'm horrified.
And the wrong place at the wrong time was dropping your kids off at school at 7 o'clock in the morning.
You really think that if there's any time you're safe, it's early in the morning, if you're going for a walk, you're taking the dog out, you're going to get some coffee, whatever the case may be. You don't have to worry about these types of drivers on the road. Maybe at 2 o'clock in the morning, right after last call, but not in the morning when kids are going to school.
I'm horrified and deeply saddened.
Berkeley City Council member Mark Humbert represents the Elmwood neighborhood where the suspect was arrested.
It causes me to continue to believe that we need to bear down with all force on traffic, pedestrian, and cyclist safety issues.
So what, road diets are going to help this?
Yeah, road diets, more lights, whatever. That's not going to stop this from happening. This guy was a complete psycho.
Berkeley police are trying to identify the suspect and any motive in this case, and including whether he was under the influence. Now, the good news, if
he wasn't under the influence, that's even scarier.
Yeah, who does this stone cold sober?
Influence. Now, the good news, if there is any in this, is that the three victims who were hit by the car were taken to hospitals and are expected to be okay. Live in Berkeley, Henry Lee, KTVU, Fox 2 News.
Yeah, I was going to ask about that, Henry, in terms of the motive. Police obviously not releasing any details about that, but is there any type of indication whether this was a medical issue or intentional?
Seems pretty intentional if you double-backed and started running other people over.
Yeah, what's the medical issue? Oh, his appendix exploded, so he decided to run over that many people?
Well, we do know that he apparently intentionally tried to ram victims at random, whether or not he was
This is one of those situations where the anchor wasn't really listening to the story, but they still had time to fill, so they asked a follow-up question that makes no sense.
Well, we do know that he apparently intentionally tried to ram victims at random, whether or not he was suffering a medical emergency or under the influence, that remains to be seen. I do know that they were trying to get his blood alcohol level at the scene.
Okay, Henry Lee, live for us in Berkeley. Henry, thank you.
So there was the rampage out of Berkeley.
All right, Randy, it's time to reopen the blotter.
If the cashier is dummy.
Questions?
And this next edition takes us to Kohl's.
Kohl's is, well, it was Mervyn's, then it was Kohl's. It's a place where you get clothes that are kind of like, It's also a place where someone tried to do a whole bunch of shoplifting in Sun Valley, but he got caught and then tried to escape from the police, ended up in the hospital, and then tried to escape there.
He sounds motivated.
For more, here's ABC 7 Eyewitness News in Los Angeles.
Noon 11, police body camera video of a wild takedown inside a local Kohl's store, and the drama doesn't end there. The alleged thief is seen trying to make a second escape, this time from the ER. Eyewitness News reporter Jory Rand live in Sun Valley, where officers say they caught him in the act. Jory.
Two wild scenes playing out here, Mark. This is where it all started last month, fairly late on a Friday night. LAPD officers were already inside the store after several recent thefts here. It continued with that man trying and failing to be an escape artist.
No Harry Houdini for him.
Put your hands behind your back, dude. Hey, stop, hey!
LAPD officers go after a suspected shoplifter in this Sun Valley Kohl's.
Make it back.
Surveillance video from the store shows a different angle as those officers move in on 49-year-old Greg Pekarek, crouched down.
49 years old? I thought this was a whole people age out of crime.
Yeah, I guess some people never learn.
Although this does make sense because nobody under 30 would ever set foot in a Kohl's.
Pekarek crouched down behind a clothing rack. As they approach, Pekarek takes off, running through the racks, but he doesn't get far.
Get on the ground! Get on the ground! Stay on the ground!
At one point, one of the officers' cameras falls off onto the floor as they struggle to take the bloodied suspect into custody.
Stop fighting, dude!
A tense moment as Pekarek...
Boy, police have to show a lot of restraint.
Yeah, I could never do that job.
A tense moment as Pekarek complains he can't breathe.
Stop fighting! You're choking me out, Who's choking you out? Stop fighting. Hey, you are, dude. Stop fighting, then.
You're choking me. No, we're not.
That's what they're all trained to do now.
Those officers were finally able to get the handcuffs on and take Pekarek into custody, but the cut over his eye required stitches, so he was taken to a local hospital where, once he was cleaned up, he tried once again to make another break for it.
49 years of age, and this is what he's doing with his life.
Something tells me it's not his first time.
Again, not getting very far.
Hey, get on the ground. Get on the ground.
I don't know what the aftermarket is for a bunch of shirts that have stretch fabric, but he was looking to steal everything he could from Kohl's.
Hey, get on the ground. Get on the ground, dude.
For a second time that night, Gregory Pekarek was taken into custody and then taken to jail.
Wonder if he popped a stitch.
I don't know if he popped a stitch, but he popped out of custody a couple of times.
So Peckrek was taken to the Twin Towers Correctional Facility where he was then booked on burglary charges. The next day, he suffered what the LAPD is calling a medical condition that had to have him be readmitted to the hospital for treatment and observation, likely a concussion or something to do with the cut over his eye. He was eventually charged by the district attorney's office with 6 charges, 3 counts of grand theft, 1 count of attempted grand theft, and 2 counts of resisting arrest.
And elections do have consequences. None of those things would have been charged if George Gascon was still the DA.
Nope. He'd be out at the Sears that afternoon.
No, Johnny, you got to update your references. There's no more Sears.
They're all gone too?
I don't think there's any left in the state of California.
I think they have one in Maui.
Reporting live tonight in Sun Valley, Jory Rand, ABC 7 Eyewitness News.
All right, are there any Sears left in California? Google, tell me.
There used to be one on Soto near downtown.
Okay, there might be a Sears. There's a Sears appliance repair, but that's not the same thing. There's one in Concord. Concord,
what about
California.
On Soto?
No, the one on Soto's been long gone.
All right. Let's go to John in San Francisco. John, hello.
Hey, how are you doing?
Good.
Is that me?
Yes, sir.
Could be.
Am I on?
Yes, sir.
Hey, I live up here. I do work in Berkeley and all that stuff. But anyway, the reason I surmised that the guy jumped up on the sidewalk and did all that stuff was that he was suffering from Grand Theft Auto withdrawal.
I don't even think you get anything in that game for running people over randomly, but I haven't played in a while.
No, you can, but you lose points when you run over a random innocent person.
So it's not Death Race 2000.
Yeah, he was apparently not thinking straight because he was losing points.
All right. Thank you for the call, sir. And right now it's time to open up the California Crime Blotter.
If the cashier is dummy.
Questions?
And Randy, this edition takes us to Oakland.
For yet another jewelry store smash and grab.
It's a lot of crime now.
Let's go.
No kidding.
To KTVU, Fox 2.
This all went down during the busy farmers market here in Montclair Village that's here every Sunday morning. In fact, the jewelry store had been open to the public for more than an hour when it was set upon by masked robbers armed with hammers and pepper spray.
They're doing this in the middle of the day on a Sunday.
That's what you call brazen.
It's happened yet again.
Okay, Henry Lee's making the wall with that one.
They could just recycle that as the open.
Henry Lee, it's happened again. Oakland news.
It's happened yet again.
Next week.
It's happened yet again.
Week after that.
It's happened yet again.
There are patterns in Oakland, you see.
It's happened yet again. Another jewelry store in Oakland robbed in broad daylight, this time in Montclair Village in the hills. A group of masked robbers dressed in black invaded Astor Jewelers on Mountain Boulevard at about 11:15 Sunday morning during business hours.
Isn't this supposed to be the good part of Oakland?
I think so.
Well, they robbed all the flats. Now they're going to the hills.
Well, I guess that's what you do after you already got all the juice out of the squeeze.
They smashed display cases with hammers and sprayed workers with pepper spray before escaping with jewelry worth about $100,000.
I'm going to guess they're not insured.
Yes, which means that jewelry store is going bye-bye.
No customer repairs or personal jewelry was taken. The owners did not want to go on camera, saying they wanted to focus on uplifting Oakland and thanking the community for its support.
What?
That's a bizarre reaction.
You're the victim of a crime. They stole $100,000 worth of jewelry. They pepper sprayed your employees, but you don't want to go on camera because you want to focus on uplifting Oakland.
I think you don't want to go on camera because you don't want to be hit again.
The owners did not want to go on camera, saying they wanted to focus on uplifting Oakland and thanking the community for its support.
I just happened to see folks outside and wanted to just talk to them and tell them how sorry I am that this happened to them.
We ran into Alameda County DA Ursula Jones-Dixon. She stopped by the jewelry store on Monday.
The same.
Something Pamela Price would have never done.
Nope, she never wanted to meet with victims.
I've been bipped several times.
We ran into Alameda County DA Ursula Jones-Dixon. She stopped by the jewelry store on Monday.
The same thoughts that I have about any robbery, broad daylight, at night, especially strong arm robbery. It's unacceptable. And so that's why we do the work. We're looking to make sure that individuals who are doing this are held accountable for doing so.
Well, that would be nice, but can we use a tougher word than accountable?
How about this? The people who did this need to go to prison.
We don't do that. Pepper spraying is probably classified as a nonviolent crime.
Well, if raping an unconscious person is, then I would assume pepper spraying someone is too.
Although relatively safe, Montclair Village has had its share of high-profile crime. In April, a jewelry appraiser was followed from a bank.
Oh, wait, let me get it ready.
It's happened yet again. And shot and wounded near the Montclair Railroad Trail. Back in 2019, a customer at the Starbucks across the street from Astor Jewelers chased after thieves who stole his laptop and was hit and killed by their car.
Oh, my goodness.
It's not worth dying over a laptop. They're obsolete after about 2 years anyway. And I know this because I keep mine for about 10.
Arrests were made in both of those cases.
In our old location, someone smashed the door and just took our cash drawer. And
oh, let me get the drop ready.
It's happened yet again.
a couple of watches.
Bill Williams owns Pelago, a gift shop in the village.
I think that a little bit more police presence up here would be helpful. I've spoken to the new beat officer. He seems good, but and then now the dispensary's got 2 full-time security guards here, which seems helpful.
This is the one case where the neighborhood is happy to have a dispensary there.
Now, Councilmember Janani Ramachandran, who represents Montclair, has also reached out to this business. She tells me that she is pressuring Oakland police to increase patrols in busy commercial districts like this one. In this case, OPD will have at its disposal a pretty robust system of surveillance cameras, so that will certainly be part of the investigation. Live in Oakland, Henry Lee, KTVU, Fox 2 News.
Well, we don't have any bodies to patrol this or prevent this, but we've got cameras.
You notice, by the way, that no one is saying, where are the safety ambassadors? This neighborhood needs more social workers. We need to get to the root causes of why these people are knocking off the jewelry stores.
You're definitely not going to hear that in the Montclair part of Oakland.
Certainly hope it'll help catch people responsible. Thank you, Henry.
It's happened yet again.
You're going to have fun with that one.
That's a good drop. See you in December, Henry Lee.